Hello and welcome to week 11. Your major arcana cards this week are the Moon and the Sun. So the more you work with your tarot cards, the more you start to develop your own personal meanings and messages and feelings and emotions that resonate with cards more specifically than others. And the Moon for me is one of those cards that has multiple meanings, but it has a very strong personal meaning for me whenever I see it in readings, and I always ask clients specific questions whenever I see it. And then we have the Sun, and the Sun is an interesting card because it's a very positive, beautiful card. It's one of the most positive cards in the deck. And in all honesty, in 20 years of reading tarot, it does not come up as often as many of the other major arcana cards. And my answer for that would be many people that are seeking advice probably don't feel like they are embodying the Sun energy. They're trying to seek this energy of the Sun card in their life. We all are. So the Moon. In the picture, it is animals, they're howling at the moon, and there's crustacean coming out of the water. And the first thing that I think about in my personal relationship with this card is, the moon only shines its light on certain situations. And so what is on the other side of the moon? What's in the shadows, the dark of the moon, okay? That's one of the first things I ask about with this card. This card is about revealing important truths being revealed. Maybe this card comes up when somebody is feeling uncertain, okay? It represents not seeing the entire picture. It reminds you that you can't take things at face value. The moon is asking you to question uncertainty, question deception, to reveal things that are not being said, okay? It's asking you to look beneath the surface. The energy of the moon itself, in reality, right, it's emotional. It rules our emotions. It's deep. It pulls us in. It changes the tide. So often this card is coming up when you're being asked to look for something deep, when you're searching for something deep, for emotions, okay? You could be asked to be facing your fears. Those lurk in the shadows. It could represent dreams and nightmares. It also can represent your imagination and your subconscious. So it is very similar and not similar to the Devil card when it comes to shadow work, because it's not specifically asking you to do shadow work, or it's not asking about what your shadows are. It's saying that, maybe somebody else has shadows that are being involved, and maybe the mood itself is that's shadowy, but you're not looking at that energy, right? Like, if you ever pulled this card with the Devil card, that would be a doozy of a reading. It also can just represent, illusions and fears, right? And the crustacean itself, crustaceans are meant to live and function on water and land. But this is coming out of the water where it's more comfortable to the land where it's not as easy for it to survive. And if something happens to that hard shell on the inside, right, the soft part, the part on the inside can't survive. So the moon is asking you to come out and to look at the hard things and to face your fears. And then we have the Sun, which represents light and warmth and joy, okay? It's literally a little naked baby riding in on a freaking unicorn horse. It is just a card about positivity, childlike enthusiasm. Think about all the things that the sun embodies. It's warm. It makes you feel, when the sun is shining, right? Imagine it's rained for a week and then the sun comes out. Imagine how that makes you feel, especially if you're from someplace where it's not always sunny, right? It just makes you feel good and warm. And it's like we get strength and vitality from it. And the sun and all the vitamins we get from it make you feel healthy. This card is about being able to see things clearly. So think about how this comes after the moon. You've worked through the illusion, you worked through the fear, and now you can see things clearly. This card asks you to trust in yourself, okay? It's a card of creativity, positivity, like you're growing and you're developing. It can also represent fame. That's another part. But it's about good relationships, and the look at this little person in this card. They're active and open and energized. So in a reading, when you're getting this card, it is telling you to be childlike in enthusiasm, trust yourself, embrace all of the warming, loving energy of the sun. And it's time for renewal, right? So it's coming after the moon. So let's remember, the moon itself is about being pulled to something deep. You're at a time where you're having to face your fears. You're having to face your anxieties. You're being asked to look at the unseen. You're being asked to look under the surface. You're being asked to look at the illusions. You're being asked to look where their deceptions are, where do truths need to be seen. You're examining uncertainties. And then right after we've done that, we have the sun. And now it is a time for light and renewal and warmth. We have gotten all of this clarity, right? And now we can be joyful. And now we can continue to grow and develop and create. You work through that hard, mucky stuff, and then you're in a spot of positivity and alignment, and it represents, success and confidence and just all of the things that we wish that we could embody every day, or the things that we feel like we're lacking every day. The sun card embodies that. So the sun card is actually one of my favorite cards to tell people to, put on an altar or put beneath their bed, or just absorb the energy of when they're feeling depressed, because that's the energy of growth and positivity and fruitful encounters. And one of the main things I really love about the sun card when it comes up as a reading is it's saying, hey, trust in yourself and the joy that's within you, and know that you have this inner child that can come out and be confident and love in yourself. And it can also be a great card for advice when it comes about, making sure that you're paying attention to your health and your vitality and doing things that are good for you in a time for enlightenment. And it's really an overall positive card. So that is week 11. I feel like the moon and the sun both embody so much, and they have so many different messages, but they also are really great in one coming after the other, because it's a reminder that you do the work and then the good stuff comes after the work. So those were your major arcana cards for week 11, the moon and the sun.